Hello and welcome, fellow Mythrunians, to another weekly live stream. Tonight we'll be trying to get more progress on the map markers. I gotta really get this done because I'm trying to get a release out. So I'd like to get this done this weekend, wrap up any final bugs and so on, and get a release out like Sunday night or Monday. So you guys can play with the new performance improvements and stuff. Alrighty. Before we get to, let's just go ahead and get started. There's my awesome patrons scrolling up on the left there. In the upper left screen is where you can see the link to download the last version of the game, which was right around mid-November or something like that, early November. And yeah, that's the hope, right? So let's talk about that. I keep hitting things I want to do and big blockers that make that hard. So let's talk about that. Not here, not in this document, in this document. Let's talk about big blockers. So I think about cool things I want to do and things that are limiting me. And so the major feature would be mobs, right? We want to kill mobs. For me, another major feature is crafting, and then hunger, thirst, fatigue. Essentially, the cost for playing, right? That you've got to maintain. So these are the big. These are big. These aren't the big blockers, but these are the big features that are blocked, right? And so mobs is a big one. It's blocked by lots of things. But the biggest one is that mobs can't currently navigate the environment. I got butterflies and birds are okay because they fly, but even the flying is not right. But mobs can't currently navigate the environment, and so mobs can't currently navigate the environment. AI is not scriptable, but the big one is this one, right? Actually, what I can do is make this a bullet and make this a number, and then run it in one more. What about the NPC nav system? So what I mean by mobs can't currently navigate the environment is that the world has to be flat for them to walk. Even the player doesn't have a great time going up ramps, small ledges, etc. Like within the within a flat surface, they can move around, but this is a big deal, and it's very tough to debug in the game. But this is a super big limitation, because one of the mobs I started to add so that we can, and this is like a mob that could work in the short term, would be like ghosts, which I thought about doing around Halloween, and did that special effect. And I could make a quick and dirty, ghost mob, maybe some, ghoul with their arms out front. And because that floats, it would act more like the butterflies than some of the characters that have to walk. And so I could do a decent mob with that, and we could have those traverse the dungeons. So then one of the other missing things, let me go ahead and make all of these bullets. So one of the other missing things that would make dungeons cooler is handheld lighting, right? That's a big... For me, dungeons are a real pain because you can't carry your sword around because you've got to have your build wand out so that you can drop lighting, or the dungeon's pre-lit, which is kind of a pain, and does... I like it that I can set a mood really well. by pre-lighting a dungeon, but I kind of want to have a combination of like lights that already exist in the dungeon that you have to turn on, and a light that you carry, like a lantern that's attached to your backpack or something that gives you some local lighting. And also, I think it would be cool if you could look out over a field and see somebody walking with their light, with their lantern. So the big things to make the game cool to me are these things. Mobs, handheld lighting, crafting, hunger, thirst, and fatigue. Crafting implies resource collection, but we've kind of got the basics of resource collection implemented. I mean, I could build on that. That's not a problem. Hunger, thirst, and fatigue, the limitation here is not coding. I could code this tomorrow, but because you don't have crafting and there's no real resource collection, you can't feed yourself and you can't drink. And the thing about hunger, thirst, and fatigue, if I'm going to, and it's not gonna be heavy-handed, like it's actually gonna be more like realistic, not like computer games. Computer games tend to starve you and have you die of thirst within like minutes, right? But in real life, you can go 3 days without water and like 3 weeks without food or something. So it'd be more like that, where these things affect fatigue, and there's going to be some formulas there. But if I'm going to be punishing you for living in the world and walking around, I ought to have more interesting things. And so really, I'm not going to institute this until how do I want to say this? I've shrunk the radius of interest. Like right now, to see something interesting, you have to walk a little bit. And I like the world scale, but in real life, you'd find all kinds of interesting things that you could poke at if you wanted to within, any 10, 20 meters in any direction, right? You'll find something interesting other than just a hill or a tree. So to increase the, so before I start adding this, I want more interesting things in the world, like right around you immediately, so that, again, and that'll also reward you with food and things. So it'll be easier to do. But I want this because traveling through the desert should be super dangerous, basically. Attempting to cross an ocean that's a whole map wide without, storing things in your ship and stuff first should be super dangerous. And I say, 3 days for thirst and 3 weeks for food, but I probably will shorten that because video games do that all the time. But it's not going to be something you have to worry about all the time, unless you're walking in the desert, because the heat will make you thirsty faster and so on, and fatigue will increase your hunger and so on and so forth. And so walking through the desert should be dangerous. Traveling on a boat across a wide open ocean should be dangerous. But yeah, I want mobs. And the big deal right now is the navigation. So one of the immediate next things, so there we go. Next big thing. So I think the next big thing is going to be a physics playground. So that, as I work on other things for the game, I want to take one of those, like the Blockhead or one of those tools, and turn it into a physics playground, which basically I can place blocks in, and I can have little scripted AI guys run around to try to debug mob physics while in the whole game engine. We know what that's like because we see how long it takes to reload. So if I tweak one little thing about how they walk up a step, then I've got to reload, and it's not non-trivial to script that and have it be performant. And so if I make a little physics playground app where I can maybe have some live reload, AI scripting, and some actual Java code doing the navigation, stepping up ramps and stuff, and then, like you were talking about, the navigation system of being able to plot out waypoints and so I can talk about what would be in here. Reloadable AI scripts, click to target, walk, yeah, navigation, plotting, animation. I call it motivation, testing, walking up ramps, over steps, over objects, etc. Um, Quest 3 implementation. Just kidding. Yeah, I mean that is in the future, right? I would like to. Maybe we'll be by the Quest 4 by then. But I actually, we joke about that, but most of the work that Mythruna does is on the server, and so I do wonder how well I could strip down just the client part to make that work. Because while we've got a lot of stuff going on in this scene, I can of course strip it way down. Even just in this game, let's pull up the... So like I'm getting 35 frames a second right now, and that's because of all these trees in front of me. And so if I go into the settings, no, I really haven't. I'm so bad. I've got so much technology stacked up that I haven't even used. The Quest 3 is at least sitting behind me charged. But I think I talked about this last week. I bought a new projector for my basement. I haven't even set it up yet, so I don't even have a home theater right now. But I paid the money. I've got it sitting down there. I got myself a Christmas present I haven't even used yet. But I do wonder how good I can get like an Oculus, some VR setup where I've, greatly reduced, all of this stuff. It starts to, like, I'm already at 50 frames a second now. Anyway, there's potentially some things I can do to make this playable, even with the far terrain, which I've got turned off at the moment. But I can, in the settings, I can reduce the that expense by quite a bit. So I'm hoping there's a middle ground where I can create like a dumber client that would work in VR, but that is not high on my list right now. I mean, it is high on my personal list, but as far as game strategy goes, getting this to a point where people might like to play it for long periods of time. So this is the next big thing from a gameplay perspective. Yeah, so I mean, and it could be again, and it could be just that the technology catches up to the point where I don't have to do anything special on the client except support the types of input that I would need to have, hand tracking, right? Because Mythruna is designed around the idea that you'd want to have hand tracking. And that's one of the things I struggle with is how to not do hand tracking with, the mouse and the keyboard. Ironically, I have the reverse problem that some games do, because I think of it in hand tracking and then I have to translate that back. Like the whole idea that your regular mouse is your right hand and hitting control is your left hand, that's built into the control scheme right down to the scripting. And so the idea that you could potentially, start a swing with your left hand and then, even in the mouse, like that's one of the things I was trying to work on. You start a swing with your right hand, and then you could also like hold control and move your shield around or something, right, to block something that's coming in. And anyway, but today, so then I've got to like focus on doing that and getting regular releases out that have interesting things. And so I hope I can balance that. I really think that this is not hard to implement and get started, and will make for some neat content as far as these live streams go. And then I can work on some more serious things. There was really a lot that went on behind the scenes in Mythruna for this release. I hope you guys really notice the performance difference when you try it. And I think that these portals, I hope this kind of gives you a flavor of the kind of things I want to build into the world, where you've got to like figure them out, but also be cool and stuff, I have so many ideas, and the thing that stops me. So like recently I thought, well, one thing I could add is like a point of interest is a woodcutter, because I need a simple mob that goes around and does his job every day, to work on the scheduling. So that's one of the other things as far as these moon gates are concerned. I added time-based scheduling into the game so that every night they can check the moon and see if they should start. And so I have lat scripting capability now. So I could technically use that to have NPCs go to bed at night and get up in the morning and go to work and all that other stuff. But they can't navigate the world. I can't even make a simple woodcutter because of all the different kinds of things, he's the most likely to hit weird things he can't walk over. But it deals with a whole bunch of things. To make a woodcutter, he's got a place to live, he's got resources he collects, he goes and cuts down trees, so he's got to be able to drag logs around, so we got like draggable things. He's got to be able to do his daily work and then take his resources into the village from time to time, go into the village just for socialization and so on. Anyway, there's a lot to do with even just a simple woodcutter that I want to get done, but they all get blocked by mobs can't currently navigate the environment, and it's really frustrating. And I've short-circuited this so many times now. Like I implemented birds, I'm like, okay, well, birds are going to fly for real, and no, I didn't implement that. And so it's like the physics driver that the player uses to navigate the environment is a completely different piece of code than the physics driver that the mobs use. And really these should be sort of customizations of the same thing, because if I fix something for the player, it doesn't fix it for the mobs. And so I have a bunch of refactoring to do, but it'd be so much easier to do that if the app I use to test it starts in 2 seconds instead of 30 seconds, right? And so along those lines, and then yeah, this is my pet wish. I constantly think about implementing this because I have ideas, but it's really not the most important thing. But I really, really, really want it. And vehicles are not a big deal. I could implement, if I had NPCs to fly them, I could implement vehicles tomorrow, no problem. The only real missing thing here is kinematic physics bodies, which is really just a flag on our, more or less just a flag on a real physics body. For mobs out in the wild, I honestly can't think of a solution beyond a dumb zombie-like navigation, but for NPCs in towns, yeah, but so the trick is that yes, to some extent, like they've at a high level, they've got to know where the roads are so that they can navigate the town in a sensible way that doesn't look stupid. But just from even a road, if I build a road, like, so even right now right, I've got this little step up. Like if you imagine I was an NPC and I can walk this and I'll step right up it. The current NPCs get stuck right here. They will not walk up this little step. So what I need is to be able to, and also she looks dumb when she does it, right? There's no step up animation. There's got to be a step up animation, and physics characters have to be able to do it. And the other step up animation would be for these high walls, which she, so let me turn around. These high walls, which she can climb, right? But it looks a little dumb. She can climb. So there should be a climb animation to get up that one level. Yeah, ramps everywhere. But see, that's the thing. They can't climb up the ramps either. In fact, I can't. Like the player has a problem with ramps. Let me show you. Like, so let's say I get rid of this right here, and then let me make it light outside and pause. Right. So let me make 2 different ramps right here. So one of them will be the regular wedge, right? And the other one will be, can I do half wedges on the, yeah, high wedge. So the other one will be the high wedge. And hold on, I'm gonna look at your, and then, is there no low wedge? Yeah, there's low wedge, okay. Okay, so we've got a low ramp and a high ramp, right? The download link is not working? That would be bad. So if you go to this, hold on. Restore the tab. Ah, come on. Firefox, be pal. Oh, it's working. Mythruna.com/Mythruna2-engine-test-build/ and you get here, and then you have to enter the password, which is up in the upper left. And you enter it, boink. And then it should come up. And you can also join the Discord there too, which if you need like more immediate tech support, that's helpful. So is that the link you're trying to go to? This Mythruna.com/Mythruna2-engine-test-build. I want to make sure you can get it. Anyway, so I've got these ramps, right? I can walk up this one, and if I stop, it slowly makes me climb back down, even this shallow ramp, right? And if I walk up this one, I can't stand there at all. And this is sort of an endemic problem with the way these physics drivers work. And if I fix it for this, if I fix it for the player, it's not fixing it for the NPCs. They actually will see this just as something that gets in their way, and they'll turn around and go another way. So I have to fix all that. And then I can have NPCs do things. Right now they're stuck, and it's very limiting, and I'm really frustrated by it. And so I plan to fix that. But not this episode, right? Not tonight. Once I get this release out, that's going to be probably what we'll be working on these live streams, unless I have like something really cool to show you or to work on that's very visually entertaining. But I do think a physics playground is going to be lots of fun, because we can design little bridges and steps and weird things for the mobs to try to navigate. So Alan, if you still can't get to that link, let me know and we can try to troubleshoot that. But all right, so one of the things we're working on tonight is the map stuff, and I was just testing the icons here, but I've got the ability to select something here. I've wired in a client, so that's the dream, right? But no, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But I do like the idea. But there's also a certain amount of, I'm a player, I'm Magic, I should be able to do what I want. Like, if I want to make a big floating island, I should be able to do it. But just the physics problem is hard, actually, especially on a world scale. But I'd like to. Yeah, even as it is, if I ever make sand fall, I'm going to have the same problem Minecraft does, is that the sand will float there until the player does something with it, and then it'll suddenly realize, oh whoops, sand can't float, and drop it. Okay, so anyway, and I've wired up a simple scripting thing, so I should be able to do some of this. One of the things I worked on this week is adding the tool support. So so yeah, I'm getting lots of network errors because we're on the live stream. So I can click and I can drag, and it knows I'm dragging. It knows I've clicked and with what tool and what button and so on and so forth. So I've got this custom mod set up so that we can do live reloading, and so I should be able to say, let's see, import. Let's keep my imports in one place. Import Mythruna client UI map custom. Make sure I spell it right, because custom map marker state. Custom map marker state. And so let's say markers equals state manager get state log info markers. So let's just make sure I've got my markers. Yep. Okay, cool. And so now I can actually wire up a map tool if I want to. So I think what I want to do is extend the debug map tool, because then I can implement just what I want. So let's go back over here. Markers.set. So actually, I'm going to make a class. This may actually get me in trouble. Script map tool extends default map tool. And then the reason I want to do this is because I want to transfer the log. Script map tool log. Log. There's a scoping issue. I can't actually get at the outer global variables from inside of a class, so I wouldn't be able to like log trivially. What do I call it? Set map tool or tool handler or what? They say the memory is the second thing to go. Set map tool. Come on, straight men. You're supposed to say, well, what's the first thing? Well, and then I would say, I don't remember. Log. Okay, let's see. Does that blow up? It kind of did. Unable to resolve class debug map tool. Oh, yeah, because I'm an idiot. Hopefully the chat didn't die. Alright, so we've got that, and I should be able to then extend the... Wow, everything is going slower. Why can't everything just be fast? Okay, log, click, oops, log, info, click, world. So I clicked on the world. Okay, so there, and now we should see if I have the markers tool selected. Let's flip the one of this. Okay, now if I click, nope, it's not working. Why not? Well, let me see this. I think it was a test. Okay, so it is running that constructor, and it is finding the log. So that part works. So then let's debug. It's going to suck because I may have to restart. So tool handlers, then we update the current tool. And so if we grep custom map marker state client log. Ugh. So it's grep-v warn boink. There we go. Current tool. I spelled it wrong. Custom map marker state. Type marker. Oh, it's lowercase. Yeah. Alright, well that's at least something I don't have to restart for. Where did my file go? There we go. So, is the chat working, I wonder? Did we just lose everybody? I have 2 concurrent viewers. Oh, that's still going. Yep, okay, cool. So everybody got quiet all of a sudden. Okay, so now I should be able to click and see it over here. Blank. Yay! Okay. I don't know that I have enough stuff to wire up a UI, but at least now we're cooking. Alright. And so what we want is if I'm not clicking on a... If I'm not clicking on something that already exists, I'd pop up an editor dialog. And so let's design what that editor dialog would look like. And I had a class that I was using or started. Oh my god, this is so slow. The one thing about killing the game all the time, you know what? What I could do is go in here and turn down all the settings. And I could have also disabled I was trying to figure out if I should load. I guess I will miss. That's fine. You can do what you want, man. One of the other time draws I've had this week is I bought and downloaded the game Astronauts because I watched some guy play it and I'm like, oh man, that looks deliciously evilly tedious, and it is absolutely that. Especially playing for just 40 minutes at a time, because I try to use it as a reward for getting something done in Mythruna. And I think I've got to the point where I don't feel like I'm instantly going to die any second or run out of. I still don't have my money situation worked out, but I feel like I can get it worked out. But Astronauts, yeah, interesting game. All right, so this should have, so this should have given us back some frames. The other thing I could have done is turned off the these guys, because they're taking a lot of time as well. Okay, so we've got debug tool hover. I can click. Hopefully that made things a little better. Alright, so class extends container, and I better import all the right things. Oop, import. But anyway, if you like really tedious top-down space games that have like custom, like our little mini games to do everything, like docking with the station or docking with derelict ships, and flying is incredibly tedious and fiddly, but you can like make your own ships really and put reactors and things in them. And then in the game it's kind of like top-down, RimWorld style, when you're in the stations and things going around. Yeah, you're basically going and scavenging ships and trying to earn a living, keep yourself alive. Standard survival fare. Okay, so what we want to do is, I think right now I'm just going to prototype a look. Right, so it's fine. Default super type is fine, I think. We may want a property panel. What do I want to do here? I don't think I want the tedium of creating every field myself. But one thing I do want to check is if let's just add a bunch of labels. Make sure we can pop something up. And so click, let's see, editor pop-up equals new custom map marker editor. And then here we want GUI globals. No. I think I've already wired in the GUI. I have not. So, I think I can still just pop something up. But let's just, I think, alright, so let's get the GUI state. GUI. State manager get state, GUI state class, and that would be in the regular client. I'm just gonna save myself some pain and just import all these things. So GUI state, so when we click, we wanna, we want to, I think I'm not going to be able to access this scope-wise. Let's see. Okay, all that's good. Let's click and see. Nope. Ah, great. Awesome. So what we will do, pop-up, open pop-up equals, and then we will set def click handler this dot click handler equals click handler, and then in here we say click handler world, and so vec 3D world log info click editor pop-up. So this should wire things up in a way that I can call them and have access to my scope. But while we're doing this and we've got things shut down, let's go ahead and turn off encounters. Where's that? That is in encounters, standard encounters.groovy. No, that's the sound stuff. That's, I gotta fix that. That was the dumbest thing I did. So this is in mobs, and there'll be random encounters. And somewhere I say disable encounters. Sure. So, alright. So yeah, let's unless I think of something way better to do, assuming I get a release out this weekend, let's say we're going to work on a physics playground for the mobs next week. And I'll try to get that set up over this week because that sounds interesting. And I was originally going to add that to the rigging tool, and I might still consider that because the rigging tool already has a small little physics test in there. But I don't know. We'll see. Because I want to be able to bring in some of the AI scripting. Could not find matching constructor for script map tool. Hey, we've still got the music going. Oh yeah. I'm an idiot. I added that new constructor, but I'm not calling it. I wish that this was more error resilient and that it would just keep running, but it is not. Okay, so we can say, I think we can just say editor pop-up. Not editor pop-up, open pop-up. So that's what we want to happen on click. But in my dream world, I have these things handled by June, on some level at least. But I've said that every year. June is the weird one because it's the anniversary of the last public release. The other thing in the near short term I want to do is some server tools to allow me to upgrade the world. Actually, that's another thing I need to work on this weekend. I actually hoped these map tools would make that easier, but I want to reset the server seed, or reset the server, but I need to be able to, I want to be able to add a moon gate relatively near to spawn, like not obviously near, and I still want to be able to save like Oakstorm's town and my haunted house, and I don't want those things to get blown away, and of course the visitor center. All right, so let's go back and make sure our debug stuff is set small. Yeah, okay, set the terrain level back down. So now it's still taking up a lot of CPU, although you know what, it's actually taking up a lot less. Even you guys can see it in the lower right probably. I'm at 75% or something, 80 maybe, but it was at 100. Yeah, 70. There's 100 before, and a lot of it is the stream, so we're good. Oh, you gotta select the marker. Okay. Oh yeah, debug tool doesn't. Okay. All right, so yes, we have access to all the things we need access to. And so now we can do the pop-up. And the other thing I wanted to do is override hover, because that's going to get annoying real fast. When hover logs, we don't want hover to log. Boink. Yeah, the editor's still not happy. Okay, so now it should be, yeah, no more hover, but we can still click. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so we've got a bunch of things added. The main click should be GUI state center editor pop-up, and then GUI global get pop-up. There it is. GUI globals. Get pop-up state. I think it's just show pop-up. Show modal pop-up. Yep. Get pop-up state. Show modal pop-up, and hopefully it will automatically close again. Whoopsie. Oh, did I spell it wrong? Possible solutions get pop-up state. No, it's get instance. They knew it. They knew. It knew. I'm gonna, yeah. It's gonna be fun. Lots of restarts. One thing I will say about that Astronauts game is loading times seem really long, and this is even compared to this. And so if you end up save scumming, well, you can't actually reload the game from in the game. You've got to go back out to the main menu, which is kind of funny. It's still in early access, so. Oh, really? Well, you guys should be happy that I'm really sensitive to that. I don't like long load times. Oh, and it crashes. Awesome. That's the best. Okay, so let's see. Click. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, got it. That's right. Okay, now click. Oh. Yay, it did it. I mean, it's dumb looking. And it did. It locked up the UI. So, I think that I can just show pop-up, maybe? It'll reload. And if I, oh no, see let's say editor pop-up remove from parent, just in case it's still running. And so now that should remove it. It did not. Oh, because I created a new one. Oh, thank you. Yeah, hopefully you've gotten a chance to download and try it out. If you want to join the Discord, it's in the same link. It's up in the upper left of the screen here. Oh man, like yeah, I've polluted my namespace. I should have done that trick with the bindings that I do in other shoot. So I'm going to have to restart again, I think. Where's one of the examples? Like it takes me so long sometimes to get these little scripty things worked out. What was it that I was doing? Oh, it was the when we were doing the portal stuff. Yeah. So I'm just gonna steal some code for a second. And so basically we'll say if there's already a variable called editor popup, then we will remove it. I mean, I'm gonna have to restart in a minute anyway, but and create. So if there's already one called that, we'll remove it. And then regardless, we're gonna create another one. Oops, I wanted to save the we're gonna create another one. Editor editor pop-up editor pop-up. We'll reset it so that's in the bindings. That doesn't help me with the one I already created, unfortunately. So it's stuck there and I can't click on anything. So I've got to restart. Oops. Clementine bed sheets. Welcome to the chat. Alright. Let's try again. Let's hopefully we get something productive here in a second. Alright. No such property script state for class custom map mark. Oh, of course not. Who added a script state? Oh, right there. Durr. What is the, so I gotta, that is just setting it through to set global binding, and mod manager should be, oh, it's not. I'll decide whether this was a good idea later. Okay, so mod manager set global binding is what I want. Oops, I could take the whole thing. Good times, good times, good times. Mod manager set global binding. And we'll try again. We will try again. Now that I have that hand-drawn screenshot state, I've also been collecting new images for the splash when you're joining the game. So I can maybe show you guys that in a little bit. I haven't hooked them up yet because I gotta go load them and shrink them down and turn them into JPEGs so they don't take up as much room and so on. Like I have more of these now. Alright. Here we go. I'm experiencing portal blindness. Clear in a moment. Okay. So if I click, it should pop up a thing. Oh, I've got to select markers, pop up a thing. Okay, it pops up. And if I click somewhere, yeah. Okay, cool. It's reloading it everywhere I click, which is fine. So for now, we want to super new border layout component. Or is it just border layout? I think it's just border layout. Well, it's going to tell us in a second. And then we want container contents equals new add child new container. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna also do some other things in a minute. Border layout dot position dot center, and then all of these will be contents dot add child, and then we will make a button panel down at the bottom. New contents dot add child. And we'll make this south. And then buttons.addChild new action button new call method action. Close this. Remove from parent. I think that's right. Let's see. Hey, it compiled. So let's try it. Boink. I don't have any buttons. Retro. Let me see if it's even running this code. That would suck. Everything looks to be working. Oh, well, we're getting errors, so it probably didn't actually execute the whole thing. Unknown spring grid layout constraint south. Okay, so... Oh. There we go. So that's what it was. It wasn't actually finishing... Yeah, okay. So I have a close button now. Close. And so now I could make it modal again. Show modal pop up. And what that means is that when I click, it opens up and I can click all around and then close it. Okay. And it looks dumb. Hold on a second. We're going to fix that. Going to import style because we got style. And new element ID window. that the one? Let us see. Yes! Yay! Cool. And now we can also add a title. Add child, new label. This is Lemur, by the way, the UI framework I'm using to do this. Pretty easy to use in my opinion, but I wrote it, so I'm biased. But I had a decade of Java Swing experience, and I've used all kinds of UI libraries, from OS2 to Windows to X11 and Windows, or Motif, X11 Motif. All kinds of stuff. So, custom marker editor, new element ID, so we give it a style. And this is going to be a window title. And I believe I already have a style set up for that. And so if we click, nope. Oh well, I replaced it because I didn't add the so when you add a child to a particular layout, you have to tell it where you want it. By default, for a border layout, the default is center. So when I added the label here, I added it to the center of the layout. Border layout is like a square. You've got one component in the center, and then a north component is east, west, south. And I added one to the center and then replaced it immediately with the test 1, 2, 3. But now it's adding it to the north, which is the top. And so we click, we should get a, yep, look at that. All right. It only took us an hour. Actually, I spent like 20 minutes talking about the future of the game. Where am I in frame? Okay, there I am. My chair shrinks down, and so I was just making sure. I think if I raise it back up just slightly, there we go. Okay, custom marker editor, we got that. We can close it, and it closes it. We can open it again. Eventually, it'll position itself wherever you clicked. But let's learn to crawl before we learn to walk and fly, and so on. One cannot fly into flying. Okay, so while I'm here, let us see if this will work. Contents, add child, new label, icon, oops, icon, and icon set returns a list of icons. We really want that to be a versioned list, though. This will work for us right now. So let's say new versioned list. Oh, wait. So what we want is say oh, that's going to be interesting. Yeah. So what we want to do is, actually this is fine. And then we want to pass that in to here. And so icon set, icon list equals new versioned list. A versioned list is the list that can tell you when it changes. Icon set icon. And we're going to pass it in markers.get icon set.get icons, I think. See if it is happy with this so far. No. It is very not happy. Oh, we've got an extra character, I think, somewhere. Line 24. Oh yeah. Let's try again. Nope, now we got something else wrong. And we're missing a thing somewhere. Oh yeah, I started typing this and then, okay, so let's, still not happy. Versioned list, that would be in lemur core. At least it didn't crash. Okay, what was it complaining about now? No signature method, get icon set. Is that just get icons? Get icons, yeah. Okay. So then this can just be icons. Yay, okay. And so what I want to do is, yeah, just add that label and then contents.add child new selector. What is the selector? Yeah, it's a thing. So I think I just say new selector. Pass it the version list. Pass it the version list. Icons. Well, first of all, I should come up here and say this dot icons equals icons, and I should add a comma 1 there. All right. It liked the code. What does it do when I click? Yay! Okay, so we've got a drop down. It looks ugly, right? But those are all the different icons I can pick to be my custom marker. So I have to create a custom renderer or whatever so that it shows better. But we're getting there. Okay, so I've sort of set this up already a little bit. So this is a very configurable class. You can set all kinds of stuff on it. And one of the things you can set is a value renderer. And, right, a value renderer is what I want. Yep. And so I ought to be able to extend default value renderer, which means I'm going to need all this stuff. Import. So, icon selector set value renderer new default value renderer. And the only thing I care to override is get view I think public panel get view at override okay. Did I screw something up? Let's just super get view value selected existing, and then this should be icon set icon, as should this. Man, Groovy makes things a lot easier here. Let's see. It's gonna complain. It's gonna complain. Unable to resolve class default value renderer. Again, renderer. One of the long time ago, I worked with a developer, and he'd see my commits, and he's like, "Are you checking in reindeers?" If I do like this, I can see myself. That's kind of cool. Okay, so did that compile okay this time? It did. Okay, so we're getting closer. Okay, so what I want to do, so I want to say panel equals super get view return panel. Let's say, except for I think panel's at least a label. Let's hope so, because I'm just going to blindly cast it. And so we ought to say panel set icon value. Did I expose it? Actually, we can just return the name. What happens if we do that? So we don't even have to call. Okay, what's going to happen is it's not going to select. It's not going to show up as selected. Like if we bring, so now we've got these. Look at that. See how easy that was? But it's not. Oh, it is. It's showing the already selected one. Oh, it's when we select it, it disappears because it doesn't know how to style that. Right. I think that's okay for now. I can fix that. It's weird that I think that's a layout problem. Again, I'm just trying to get something functional. I can make it pretty later. Yeah, we've got a little bitty V that shows up there. I wonder if that's a bug in all of these. Oh, interesting. It wiped it out. Okay, so we can select an icon. The other things we're going to want to be able to do is probably adjust the position. We're going to want to be able to create it. So, remove parent. I'm just wiring this up a little better. Cancel. And we'll say save, cancel. Yeah, this is a better, save is a better word. I may change the label on that one depending on whether we're creating a new one or editing one. The other thing, I think I will go back and do this the right way. It's going to be more expensive, but I think it will work better with the so if we bring this up, now we get a save and a cancel. I'm going to fix that. We're not getting the icon anymore. Oh, boogers. It's showing the raw. Oh, because I cloned it. Yeah, that's not going to fly. Because the Yeah. Alright, again, I don't want to get wrapped around this, so we'll just return value, get name. I'll deal with the weird, because this is essentially working. I will deal with the weird. Yeah, that's awesome. See, it is setting it. You can see it selected. There's, again, this is some funky partially wired stuff. So I'm going to make those side by side. That'll be easy. I'll show you. New spring grid layout axis. Main axis, it should be X instead of Y. So this is how you control. Ooh, it don't like that. Probably because unexpected token. Line 65. Did I leave a? I did. I left the parentheses out. Alright, there we go. It's happier now, and now they should be side by side. Yep, save, cancel. Yep, so save doesn't do anything yet, right? But if I cancel, it cancels. Okay, so cool. What the next things we want is like angle, and I think that, oh, we're gonna need a name, right? So yeah, private text field. Is that what I call it? Yeah, text field name. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is for the contents, do a new spring grid layout, axis Y, axis X, and fill mode last, and fill mode none. Okay, so I think that should, yeah. So now this won't jump around as much when, oh, nice. Oh, it's supposed to, oh, I got these backwards. Even, oops, not even none. What none? Oh, I did this right. Yeah, that's right. It's supposed to stretch the, it's supposed to stretch this column all the way to the side. Line up all these guys together and yeah. Alright, whatever. Again, I don't want to get wrapped around the axle on those minor formatting things I can sort through on my own. Contents dot add child new label name. And then we want name equal to contents add child new text field. Yeah, that's fine. Should be okay. Yeah. Save. Yep. I'm not doing anything yet. I can set the thing. Yeah, see it's yeah, the fill mode is not working correctly. Why not, though? Interesting. Alright. We can start to get rid of this extra crap, though. Yeah, that's really bugging me. Major axis Y, minor axis. Oh no, I've got this. I do have this backwards. Yeah, it's the x-axis that I want to last. I'm so dumb. So the fill mode, if you had a come on, Miro. Ugh. Where's my pencil? Come on, give me my pencil. Come on, I just wanted to draw a thing real quick. Why you gotta be like that? Where's my tools? There they are. Okay. So, you've got a layout that's like this. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. And when the major mode is y, by default, every new component you add is going to add a new row. So, if you add a second column by adding that comma 1 like I did, or comma 2, it's going to, add another thing over here, and you could keep adding things, but it's to make these kind of property panels, name, value, easier to do. But that means that the fill mode for this, I want to be none. I want them to just stack on top of each other without stretching at all. And the fill mode for X, I want basically all of the extra space. That's what fill mode means. It's like, if I have to stretch the components, who should I give the extra space to? If it's even, I give a little bit to everybody. If it's last, I only give it to the last column, and that's really what we want here. And so that should fix it. Yep. Now everybody's always full width. Is the star always busted? Yeah, it's always the star. Oh no, sometimes they work. Okay. Star. Paw print. Star. Okay, well, I think it's because those labels get reused. And so, yeah, only one will ever work at a time kind of thing. I'm screwing them up by, yeah, whatever. I'll fix that later. It is, in principle, doing what it's supposed to do. It's selecting that, and I can figure out which icon is selected from that. And so then I could say testing, and then save, and we could make one. So maybe we should. To prove that things are working. So if the click handler is called with the world, and so then we could call editor popup, show them little editor popup, but we want to say for editor popup, we want to keep things like, okay, I'm gonna have to, oh, I think vec3d is already included. World. Yep. Okay. And so instead of leaving this up to this, we will say editor popup show world. We'll move this into public void show vec3d world, and so it will show itself. Okay, so that should do that. And if we do it again, it should still work. Yep. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. And so then we do this, and so we can say this dot world equals world, and so here we could call the backend script, which I have not set up. Yeah, so that will fail. Activation input state gives me a good example. I gotta go to bed. Good luck with the markers. Hope you figure out something for the navigation. Good night. Good night, Max. Sleep well. Have nice Mythruna dreams. Okay, so I think session, this is what I want, right? So we want to say, save it. We want to say, we want to, yeah, actually, avatar ID is kind of what we want. Actually, what we really want is that tool. I'm not sure we're told what the tool is. Alright, well this is where things are going to get interesting. So what we want is we want to execute, well, let me look. So this is executing a command. I don't want to execute a command. Yeah, no. We need to look at one of the manipulators. Hand manipulator. Run session target. There we go. That's what I want. Not here. Not here. But here. Okay, so we want to run action on the tool ID, which we can make the avatar ID temporarily if we want. Do I set that as part of my... I don't. But the game session knows it. Game session, and this should be... Oh, it doesn't know the game session. Closure, save, it. That's one way to get around it. And so this dot save it equals save it. And then down here we can say save it equals whatever we want. And in this case what we want is the icon, the name, and the world position. And for now we'll just log it. Icon, name, world. Oops. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll comment that out for a second. So when we create the editor pop-up, we want to pass it the game session avatar ID for now, and the save it. Let's see if this works. Ooh, no, something's very not happy. No such property avatar ID. The game session client service. Game session state. Get. Alright, avatar state knows. How did it get it? It got it from the session. Get avatar. Okay, yeah, because on the back end I don't use IDs because it makes things look confusing. So just avatar. Doink. Alright, okay. And so then in here, what we want to call is save it with the icon selector get selected item. We want to get name.get text, and we want world. I think that will work. Let us see. Okay, let's make sure that this is visible. I'm mumbling, aren't I? Test, save. Click icon, name, world. Yep. She works. And so from there, we could call the backend. And then in principle, so we would call... Oh, interesting. So I actually didn't need to pass the tool ID. Well, I mean, eventually I will. Right. So let's leave it for now. Come on. Okay. We'll leave it for now, but this guy already knows it, so... actually, this callback doesn't know it from the dialog, but it does know it from the same place that got it here. And eventually it's going to be the tool that is selected anyway. So I'll have to... So create marker... Oops. Create custom marker. And the icon itself has the ID, I believe. It's not providing it, but it does not. I can get it. Alright, well, we're going to need to reload anyway. So let me get icon ID turn entity.get custom marker custom map marker get icon ID. And so for now I can actually just access that, I think. Just to see log info test icon.entity blah blah blah. Oops. There we go. Let's try again. There we go. Alright. And save. Yep. Okay, cool. And then eventually, so let's, yeah. And so this would pass in the icon ID, the name, and the location. What else? We don't have, we'll use default orientation for the time being, because I don't want to make a little angle slider yet. Custom map marker. Oh, size. Sure, we're going to want size. And so we will make one of those too. That one will be a spinner. Okay. So name contents dot add child new label size. Size equals contents dot add child new spinner. And for the spinner, I haven't even finished my Pepsi yet. We're almost like 75%. Okay, so takes a sequence model, And I think, yeah, I have a sequence models class where, so there it goes. List range sequence. I want to make, yeah, so we'll just do a double sequence. Yes, it's got to be a double. Yeah. So spinner is going to be a double, and sequence models double sequence. Initial value 16 sounds good. Step 1, resolution 1. Okay. Oh, and then comma 1. There we go. Alright, it's happy with that. Let's see. Boink. Hey, look at that. Boink, 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 boink. If we hold the button down, chick, 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 and we should be able to, oh, it's not letting us type. It's supposed to let us type too. I think maybe that's a separate parameter. So spinner, how do I make it so you can type in? Set value editor. There's a way to do this. Let's just assume I've done it. Okay, so then that's another thing we'll want to pass through. So size dot get value. Is it just get value? Get value. Okay. Size. Okay, we are almost to the point where I would need to restart. Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Save. Should see it come up here. We can set name, size. Yep. Okay, so now I need to create stuff on the back end. And so we will close that and set up this. Hey, before I gotta shut down anyway, let me go ahead and wire up the tool IDs. So when I call the map tool, the map tool has a name, and that could also be its object type name. So what I'm thinking of is I need to create classes to be like the custom map marker class, but then it needs an entity. And these are the tools I created, so I'm making entities there. They have an object name but no object type. So we could object type info create s map tool, and then we've given it a type, and then in here I can define create custom map marker equals, and what we do is how do I do this for the other ones? Like session, oops, comma self, yeah, comma, we want all of the things, and I want to be able to adjust them later potentially. Anyway, we know we need icon ID, name, size, world, and angle, and we'll just wire it up to have 0 as the angle for now. Log info, and actually it would have been easier for me to just type it, name, size, cool. Alright, okay, so we've got that wired up, and we need to start making the type. So types are not reloadable as far as I know. I never got that working. So we're going to start making a map tools, standard, standard map tools.json and standard map tools.groovy. We're gonna steal from one of these other ones. Like, let's steal the mobs one. Yep, so standard mobs, standard map tools. Yes, we want those. Standard map tools.groovy. Alright. And so then we want to create some types. Just like this. So I'm just going to steal that for a second. So we want marker map tool, no super types, and we are going to create custom map marker. Let me just say create. Create, and we are going to pass in, it's just, yeah. And we're going to pass in all the things we had in the other one. Oops, not here. Here, here. We're going to pass in all of those things. No, all of these things. Call, but this one we will pass in all of those things. And Okay, so we've like wired up. While I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and wire up the update one, because eventually they'll be different. And update will need the marker ID. And we'll need to pass the marker ID. Okay, and so we go over here. Go ahead and here, yeah. Update custom map marker equals blank. Trying to get all of the as much of the wiring done as I can that would let me live reload. And we're gonna have to do one more thing, which is in the world manager. Not here, but here. World. Come on. If I can get this wired up so that you guys can see me create at least one or multiple whatever markers and have them show up on the map, even though I can't edit them, I think that would be cool. Okay, so load this. We got upgrade should always be last, I think. Map standard map tools.json. Is that what I called it, right? Standard map tools.json. Yep. Okay, so that's all hooked up. And this guy is not hooked up. How did I want to? Oh, so yeah, I've got, so those would create the entities, and then we want to be able to tell the map tool public void set entity ID entity ID and and then in the debug map tool set entity ID gotta import the classes. Okay, so that's all good. And then when we custom map marker state, whenever we reset whenever we reset the tool, not reset visible, update current tool, then current tool dot set entity ID selected tool type entity get ID, I think. So tool type entity get entity ID, yes. That should be right. And so every time we update the current tool, we will reset that to whatever the current tool is. All good. Alright, that means in my script, ooh, I just got a headache. When this gets called, at override public void set entity ID tool ID this dot tool ID equals tool ID. Alright, tool ID. Okay, so now it knows the tool ID. And so the click handler, it can pass the tool ID. And so then the click handler needs to be smarter. Open pop-up. Entity ID, tool ID. And then when we show world, tool ID, world. And so we show entity ID, tool ID. This dot tool ID equals tool ID. We should set these things before we do the pop-up. And so tool ID, save it, or create. Let's say create map marker. Just say create it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, save it's good. Okay, because I already wired that one up. So save it, it's there. Is that what I called it in here? Yep. Okay, save it now takes the tool ID. And so it's going to run it on the tool ID. Create custom map marker. Icon ID. Name size world 0. I think that should do it. Let's see what blows up. We'll find out together. All right. Yeah, so one of the things that's very easy to wire, I'll talk about that in a second. No signature method update action is applicable for at standard map tools line 9. Line 9. Oh, add action to update. And this is important because I'm calling the wrong, while I'm here, I'm calling the wrong thing. Anyway, what I was going to say is, like, this is wiring up direct creation, and I would still have to do some fancy stuff to get sort of live edits to work. And by that I mean, like, as you change the angle and stuff, it would live update on the map without having to go all the way back to the back end and back to the front end again. So I may not get that done this week because that's like it's a little different level of work on the tools. Like right now this is very simple. It maps, you know, directly to the back end. Whereas if I want it to update in a reasonable time, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but as you're trying to update your hair color, it lags quite a bit, right? And that's because it's going, you know, over the network and back again, just to update the hair color. And so if I want to be able to intercept these clicks and stuff, and you know, as you're changing your slider and stuff, and have it update the thing on the map while you're editing, that's significantly more complicated, and that might not get done this weekend. I figure if you guys have enough to mark your things and edit them a little bit, that's better than nothing. And as you're exploring portals, you'll have some way of marking it on the map. Lines are going to be another tricky one. I'm going to try to get that done this weekend, but there's a bunch of open questions about lines. But even if you have markers, you can kind of figure out awesome. You can kind of figure out what how things are mapped. Can I get icons on null object? You holes. Custom map markers, groovy line 105. Line 105. Oh, right, because marker markers has not been grabbed. What? Icon set doesn't exist yet. Okay, so what we want to do is wait to do this until the first one we open. If editor pop-up equals null, alright, I think that will work. Let's try it. This is why it's so much more fun when I can wire up the reloadable scripts and just edit in those. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, if you guys wait till the last... still more bugs in the code. Cannot read field entity because this selected tool type is null on... So this is another similar issue on line 148. Would be interesting to see your hidden metrics like the aggregate of time you have spent watching it load. Oh, man. Yeah. What was it complaining about again? Yeah, I don't think I want to know. Cannot read field entity because this selected tool type is null, and this is map markers like 148. Oh. Yeah, I mean... like I do it a lot, right? But I mean, I actually don't mind it when I'm by myself, but when you guys have to watch dead air while it loads, I feel sensitive as someone who's presenting a show. I feel like that's dead air. I'm used to it when I work by myself, but yeah, I reload the game a lot. It gives me time to think, which I'm fine with. On the live stream, I feel like I have to fill the time. And so this is in here. We want to say if selected tool type. Why is entity null though? Yo. Update current tool, line 304, which was here a second ago. Entity is null. If selected tool type, so actually selected tool type can be no. So the selected tool type is not equal to null. That's what is actually null. And selected tool type dot entity is not equal to null, which can never happen. If you've got one, you always have the other. But might as well be extra defensive. Yeah. I do fantasize about getting all of the built-in Groovy scripts to pre-compile so that this is like instant. Right, because that's where it's initializing game modules is where running all the scripts. You can see it like running this mod, this mod, this mod, this mod. And if I could pre-compile all those, this would just it'd be instant. So I fantasize about that a lot. But yeah, one of the cool things about playing other games is I learn that their load times are also long. So I do feel a little less self-conscious. Okay, so at least we got loaded again. And we can come over here and see what's going on here. So let's see what blows up when I click this. Oops. Oh, I gotta select the right tool. Map marker, that's our custom tool. I click this and crash. Awesome. Custom map markers. Line 107. Bone Lab, a shot. Oh. 107. Do you leverage any AOT features in some of the JVM? I'm sure. I don't think so. What do you mean by AOT, just to be sure? Is that like the compile time injection stuff? Or the auto reload? Oh, ahead of time compilation. Well, so I mean the JIT is not getting in our way. The just-in-time compiler is not getting in our way here. I don't have that many classes, but I spend a lot of time rerunning those Groovy modules every time we load a world. But that has to wait. I can't do it ahead of time. I can compile them ahead of time, but I can't load them ahead of time because they're all wiring themselves to the other mods, and the mods are going to be specific to the world, and the world could turn them on and off and so on. So let's see, was it 107? No, it can't be. I'm actually using here. I'm using Oracle's JDK 18, I believe. I don't know if because I was using, I use Adopt JDK on, I think, on my Linux box to build that version. I'm not sure if I installed that one here or not. What was I doing? Oh yes, trying to figure out this bug. So many removals. Okay, so editor pop-up. Oh yeah, sure there wouldn't be. Custom map markers, line 107. Custom map markers. G107. Sure, it's not there yet. Always something. Well, so let me show you the splashes that I've been collecting real quick. So this is like one I thought was cool, except for it's got the, I may have to paste a head because it's got the, or I'll reshoot it because it's got the bubble over the head. I've got rid of it on all the other ones because I can turn it off. So here's one I don't know if I'll use. Just a couple different views. This one I thought was cool because it shows some caves and a mountain off in the distance. Anyway, so I've been collecting these from different angles and resolution. I thought this was nice. Lots of field of view and distance. You can kind of see the sprawling terrain even drawn. So I take them from a bunch of different lighting. Sometimes I found the skull up in the cliffs, which I thought was be really cool. Mountains off in the distance. You know, you can see some of the canyons, and I don't know. And the forest views are kind of nice too. Different views of the forest, the town. So anyway, I'm collecting different screenshots to use as the. I have to just pick which ones I like the best and shrink them down and turn them into JPEGs. All right, so let's try again. I want to get one map. I want to get some map markers created. We're really, really close. We're really, really, really close. Come on, work this time. At least work enough so that I can edit the script to fix the problem. The headphones start to hurt after a while. go. Okay. Alright, so marker. And then click. Oh, you. Ah! One thing after another. No such property editor pop-up. Ah, another one. It's because I moved it into that closure. No, I changed it. What are you talking about? Line 107. Oh, yes, of course, of course, of course. If not has binding. Okay. Yes, of course, of course. I feel like I was saying something a second ago. Anyway, if I can get the map tools working, one of the other ones I can add is a bounding box style drag a thing. And I'm hoping that helps with what I want to be able to do is while I'm in a world as an admin to be able to mark areas of the world to save if I want to reset all the terrain and objects and stuff, and so then it would keep the objects and terrain that are within that box and reset the rest of the world, or however many boxes I set, because that would allow me to run around and save some things on the server before I have it regenerate the rest of the world. And so I thought custom map tools would be a cool way to do that, and eventually hook it up to our property as well, so that from top view we could drag our little property stuff. Okay, so here, is it going to crash? Oh, we got to select the right marker, so that's better. Like asteroid just to come and make a big crater? Is that what you mean? Okay, so that's okay. Yeah. Apples. So let's save it. Let's see what happens. Oh, oh yes, G session. Why do you have to crash to do that, though? Yeah, it would be fun to like generate giant craters, the asteroid falling down. But this is also something that I think it's game session. Yep. This is also something that other modders could create too. Would you want it to like explode and have the debris go everywhere, or you just want to create a big crater? I do want to have the ability to have magic that's so powerful that you could blow off the top of a distant mountain. Like if you got a bunch of you together, there would be some way to project your magic energies into a common thing to have like a death ray take the top of a mountain off, right, and have all the chunks go everywhere. In my imaginary game trailer, that's one of the scenes. In addition to a dragon, popping up out of the ground and blowing chunks of things everywhere, it would be like 6 players standing in a circle, feeding their magic energies into some device in the center, and have that. Let's wait till the stuff loads. Right. Come on. And have like that beam go all the way out to that mountain and have like big chunks of it fly off. Yeah, chat must be extra slow tonight. I don't know why. But yeah, it would be fun to have like anyway. So let's see. Click. Oh yes, marker. Click. Hello. Save. Okay. it's not really working. Marker map tool. Is that what I called it on the back end? I may have screwed something up. I think marker map tool is correct. Marker map tool. Right, marker map tool. Okay. And then in here, standard map tools, marker map tool should have a create that calls create custom map marker. I didn't put logs in there. And then over here, not here, here. Oh, yeah, create custom map marker. Why? Oh, I'm not filtering on those. Okay, so let's filter on custom map for a second. Alright, let's try again. Save. Create custom map marker. Hey! Alright. So then we ought to be able to come in here and say, I have an example of creating a custom map marker down here. So let's say def marker equals create entity. How would you go about doing the mountaintop destruction? I assume those far LOD regions aren't going to be held long-term in memory. Well, I mean, it would be on the server. So if the, yeah, I mean, it gets tricky, but that's the goal, right? The world knows what all of that stuff is. You can see it. It's been generated. It just may not have been generated down at the block level. But if it hasn't been generated down at the block level, it's almost even easier for me to break it up into chunks. Like I can just create whatever chunks I want from a shape in my, random imagination and take the top of the mountain off and throw big chunks around. But there is the ability to have far objects and stuff. So as long as it's within that range of the, 5 by 5. So it's like if you're standing here, you can see large objects out this far, right? So there's like a mountain here. If I could blow the top off of that, you could see the chunks if they were large objects. And then to have them settle and turn into probably real terrain, something like that. But it's a cool visual and something that I would like to drive home, how modifiable the world is, kind of thing. And yeah, it's all saved, right? Everything here is on the disk. That's why this world takes up a half a gig right now. Alright, so to be a... Alright, so we need to say... I think that on the client... Okay, I'll worry about that later. I think I did create like a sample map marker. Yeah, up here. Yeah, my marker test. So I just need to do this. And where avatar is not avatar, but resolve entity ID session activator and world, oh no, new spawn position, or is it? Let me make sure I can create just a spawn position like that. Normally they need to know what physics space they're in. Spawn constructor, yep, I can just take, okay, cool. Alright, so spawn position, world, new quad D, from angles, angle. Okay. Name would be name. Custom map marker. Actually, I can just say new custom map marker, icon ID, size, let's make it an int, world, entity data. That should be enough. But let's try it. Okay, so let's zoom in so we'll be able to see it. So let's click right here. Let's set it to a star. Excuse me. And save. Nope. Excuse me. Who's complaining? Random variance bounds for length 1 from angle. Oh, yeah, okay. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. That's actually a valid bug. Crash, no crash. No crash. We just didn't like the value I gave it. Okay. Cancel. Let's try again. So we've got the star. Let's do the thing. And save. Uh-oh. Couldn't find matching constructor for custom map marker. Okay, maybe that isn't valid. Oh yeah, because it doesn't need entity data. What am I? So, oh, tile ID. Alright. Well, again, we don't have to restart. That's a good time. So if we do this, tile do from world, world. Oops, not there. Oh, wrong script. This one. So we get the world, icon ID, size, tile ID. Yep. Alright, let's try again. Can I just save? Okay, we got another problem. No such property, tile ID. Line 44, did I not spell? Oh, so yeah, okay. Tile ID. Alright, try again. At least we get to try again. So save. Okay, another problem. No constructor, custom map marker, integer, and oh, it's so long. Oh. No. Custom map marker, integer, long. What were you complaining about then? No, integer. Oh, tile ID. Sure. I'm in such a hurry now, I'm not thinking straight. And so this needs to be tile ID.get ID. Alright. Everybody should be happy. It reset the thing, so let's make it up here. Star and save. Yay! Look at that! Let's make another one. Let's make this one an apple and say hello chat with an exclamation point, and we'll make it bigger. Save it. Yay, look at that. Yay. It's like pulling teeth. So anyway, I'm gonna have to add like the pin support so you can put little pins. Yeah, slow clap or golf clap. But yeah, so there's some tweaking to do, but the general gist of it's here. I'd like to be able to click so that you can bring up the existing one and edit it. That's not really, that's trying to create a new one. But the basic functionality is there, and I have something I can live reload to play with it, and so that's the important part. And on that note, I think we should end on success, such as it is. And thanks for joining me. The two of you who've stuck around through the whole thing. Um, that's awesome of you. It's much less lonely that way, so thanks a lot. And like, comment, and subscribe if you have any ideas for future videos and so on and so forth, or just want to say, hey, that's awesome. And you all have a great weekend and a productive week if you're working on anything creative or if you're just playing games. I hope you win all the things. And I will see you guys online. Thanks a lot.